You know, every few years I think about quitting writing. It's really hard. I'm gonna be honest, I've quit writing at least 6 times. But I guess I didn't because I came back every time. I'm going into my 15th year of teaching.
I've been a high school English teacher for 17 years now.
15 years.
Been teaching since 1995.
I teach English.
English.
Creative writing and ELD.
And I also teach film production. It's hard to be a teacher, it's hard to be a writer. To be recognized for both is amazing. Jack Hazard Fellowship, it meant so much.
I got access to the fellowship because I'm a teacher. It's a unique demographic. As, you know, someone who's committing to teaching but also has a desire to pursue writing.
I'm so glad, so grateful to be in a group of people who are literally living like the same life I am. Like, they know what it's like to teach 3 or 4 classes a day, balance their family life, and then to keep writing.
My standard routine for a long time is to get up early in the morning, 5 o'clock, when everyone's asleep and the house is quiet, and to come here at the desk and just write.
I try to be very scheduled. I put in my writing time, editing time.
One of my values is being disciplined. The consistent effort around words, language, writing, literature.
I always carry my phone around, you know, sometimes like we go to Descanso Gardens and we're walking with the kids and I tell my wife, hold on a second, and I turn around, I take my phone and I'll write something down. And okay, let's go and we'll continue.
Like, you're writing inspirations, you're writing notes, and it's your vocabulary. You know, you don't know where you're gonna use it yet, but you know it's good. You gotta work. So you just gotta work. I mean, that's what I tell people, like, if you do the work, everything good will happen afterwards. So just do the work.
My mom used to listen to a radio show where they had people read Latin American poems, you know. So I think I fell asleep hearing those poems and picked up the rhythms and the images, and I had an affinity for that.
I was like a secret writer, secret artist, like a lot of young people, a lot of Asian American kids. You don't want to tell people, you want to go into the arts. And I told my poetry professor at UCLA, I want to write. He just gave me this book. He just opened a drawer, like all those great mentors, he opened a drawer and just handed me this book. And I was like, whoa.
Having that desire, knowing that it's part of my being, that's what keeps me going.
It's just very grounding for me. And it's a way for me to just understand like any kind of conflict or transition. It was a way to negotiate my identity as a Pakistani American.
I am Vietnamese American. We came to the United States at the end of the Vietnam War. My mom was 6 months pregnant with me at the time.
My dad is from India. My mom is half Mexican and half Filipina.
I feel like I'm between 2 places all the time, right? I always feel like I'm a foreigner everywhere I go. Where do I belong? Do I belong in El Salvador? Do I belong here in LA? Do I belong somewhere in between? I was like in this in-between space. And that's when I started writing. I started writing it because it was a necessity. I had to get it out, I had to put it on paper.
I feel like sometimes I'm living in between 2 worlds, but at the same time, I feel like I'm embodying all these worlds. My memoir is about a woman who has to search her family's ghosts in order to find connection.
In my fiction, I focus like writing about Vietnamese people in the diaspora, so Vietnamese people all over the world, Vietnamese people after war, the emotions, the emotional turmoil, what's lost, what's found, what's gained.
The novel I've been working on for the Jack Hazard Fellowship is set in Pakistan. It starts off in a house, my grandparents, and I imagine this porch when I'm writing it. The idea for that project came to me actually from teaching, because I was teaching Frankenstein and talking about Gothic romances as a genre. And I was just like so excited about that. And I thought, you know, I really want to write something in that genre too.
She has been telling me for a long time, my wife, you need to write down your story. You need to tell your story. okay, let me give it a try. I started writing the memoir. My wife said, hey, have you heard of this award, the Jack Hazard Award? It's for high school teachers. Maybe you should send it.
It is a fellowship for teachers who are writers, who are working on an extended writing project, a book-length writing project. And I was right in the middle of the first draft of my novel. So I applied.
Probably the biggest thing I've ever won.
It's like getting candy. You know, it was so exciting.
It felt very validating. I know that this book is supposed to be in the world.
It is confirmation that what you're doing is right.
Emotionally and mentally, you put a lot of yourself into teaching, and then going home, I may have the desire, but I don't have the energy or motivation to engage in the discipline of writing.
It's very difficult because all day long there's the teaching and talking and instructing and the conversations that happen that take a lot of brain space. It's hard to shift to a space of deeper contemplation that's required to create a literary art.
The Jack Hazard Fellowship was like a turbo boost.
I think having that fellowship is like having the literal, physical, and also emotional space to revise my work.
I rented that summer office.
That inspired me to get into one of those zones where I was writing every day.
So it helped out a lot. It helped out, and it gave me the courage to continue writing, and I have ever since. I think I'm like almost 70% done with the memoir.
I finished a draft of the book and I'm revising it.
I have agents who are like, send the manuscript when you're done.
I always had doubt, but after I won, it was assurance. You're gonna finish. The main thing is keeping writing centered in my life. Even before teaching, even before anything, like it's like the most important thing to me. I'm so grateful to New Literary Project and the Jack Hazard Fellowship. It's such a beautiful thing that people will help a stranger.